Cause I'm on another level. I'm bringing things to life like I'm Geppetto, like I'm Geppetto, like I'm Geppetto, pedo, pedo, pedo.
Pulling strings like Geppetto.
What's up, you guys? It's your boy Geppetto here, back in the building. Got these videos coming for you. And just based off of my channel analytics, a lot of you guys love it when I do videos about Atlanta, living in Atlanta, different things to do in Atlanta, just my experiences in Atlanta. So this video is going to be entitled Living in Atlanta, Story Time, My Neighbor Got Murdered.
You didn't see that coming?
Dun dun dun. Yeah, it's going to be kind of scary story time, but I want to share it with you guys. So I had posted a video inspired by Refinery 29 where it was like how much bang for your buck you get for apartment, and that video is doing pretty well on my channel, a couple thousand views or whatever. And I've had a lot of people email me, DM me, or write me messages like, hey, I really love that apartment you used to live in. Can you tell me what complex it was? Can you give me advice? I want the information because I want to move in there. Now, just for my personal safety, I personally didn't tell people what complex it was. Number one, even I don't live there no more. My personal information is there, so I don't need people to go like inquire about the apartments because of me, to try to find out information on me. And secondly, even though it is a luxury apartment complex, it went downhill really bad. So that's why after staying there for a little over 2 years, I left. And hence this video, my former neighbor actually was killed. Not in the complex, but literally, it'll all make sense. Okay, so I was moving from an apartment, and this is in a pretty nice area in Atlanta I was living in. I was looking to stay in the same area, and for some reason, it was just hard to find an apartment. I'm talking about I had looked for weeks upon weeks looking for apartments, but I had a price range. I was like, I didn't want to go under this, but I didn't want to go over that. And I normally always get 2-bedroom apartments because I have a lot of clothes, and just in case, you know, friends, family, acquaintances want to like spend the night, they could always have the 2nd bedroom. And I just don't like people using my bathroom, so I always get 2 bedrooms. So I was looking for apartments. The complexes, they were either too expensive out of my budget, they were too ratchet, or they didn't have any available. I personally don't like to live on bottom units, so I always get the top floor when I'm renting apartments. So that's my stipulations. It always has to be a gated community, and it has to be on the top floor. So I was looking, was having no success, and I was feeling so defeated. So as I was driving from one complex, I did find one apartment that was dope, beautiful complex. And the only thing is, this apartment, it was actually cheap, a little cheaper than my budget, but the reason why it was a lot cheaper was because it was so off grid. It was like deep off the cut. And in order for me to get to the city of Atlanta from where it was, it would be like almost a 40-minute drive, and then when you factor in morning traffic and all this stuff, pretty much my commute would be an hour plus both ways. So I was waiting on that complex to call me back because I had already submitted my application, but then I was still looking at apartments. Stumbled across the apartment complex that I put online, and I'll link the video down below or insert it in the annotation right here. And I showed up, beautiful office, and I was like, okay, I didn't even know about this complex because it was kind of tucked away as well, still in the nice area where I wanted to live. So went in, the leasing manager, she was like a chicken with her head cut off. So she was running around the office, and I was like, hey, came here to look for 2-bedroom. She was like, look baby. She's like, older black lady. She's like, look baby, it's so busy today. She's like, if you can come back in an hour. I promise you I got you. She like, when are you looking to move in? I like, now. She like, what you looking for? I like, 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom, preferably a 2-bedroom. So she said, okay, come back in an hour. I said, okay, cool. Left, went, got some Subway, chilled for a while, came back in an hour. So she started giving me a tour of the property. Property was beautiful, beautiful pool, fitness facility. It was gated, surveillance, very pristine lawn. I was kind of looking around, you know, everything looked A1. So I asked her the price. The price was a little bit higher, not that much, but than what I wanted to spend. But I know I'm the king of negotiations. So she carried me to the 2-bedroom, which you guys see where I lived in. I fell in love instantly. So she's actually like, matter of fact, I think this one is available. She's like, yeah, this would be the unit you would move into. So I was like, okay, cool. We get back to the office. I put on my charm and I like, hey, you know, if you allow me to like, you know, get a little discount, you know, I'll move in as soon as you want me to. Come on, Miss So-and-so, you know you can work with your boy, you know. So she's like, okay, let me see what I can do. She gave me the information, all the paperwork or whatever. I like immediately went and filled out the information, got my pay stubs, all that stuff, got the money order, processed it, got approved. So I think I looked at the apartment on Tuesday. I turned in my application on Wednesday, and she like rushed it for me, which was like a blessing. So, because after weeks of looking for an apartment with no luck, I found, and it was a nice apartment. I absolutely loved that complex. Complex was beautiful. It was a lot of working professionals in there. You know, people who work for the government, the airport, medical personnel. It was nice. And not that much kids. It was like a really nice complex. So I fell in love with it. Even like when my friends would come over, they would always compliment like, damn, this is a nice ass apartment. Like you must be paying hell money. But no, because I had moved in at a certain time and the leasing manager, I guess she liked me. She gave me like a nice little discount. So I actually paid, you know, a good amount less than what the normal person was paying for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Okay, because I think that apartment really was on for $1,200 and I was able to get it for like $1,000 and like $1,048 or something like that. I can't recall. Okay, so when I was moving in, me and my neighbors was like, we shared the same walkway. So my apartment was kind of built like a townhome, like when you entered on the street level. I would walk in and then walk upstairs, and then my apartment was there. My neighbor, same street level, they were walking, but their apartment was like a 1 level. So as I was moving in, my neighbors came out to introduce themselves to me. It was a black dude. I think we was all around the same age. And he was in the military, and his wife was like this white girl who had like multicolored hair. And she was kind of ratchet, you know. She kind of had a little hood in her. How she approached me, she's like, oh, you moving in? And I was like, yeah, you know, introduce myself, whatever the case may be. And my homeboy at the time, he was helping me move. So she like, y'all both moving in? I'm like, nah, he just helping me move. So she like, okay. She's like, are you loud? Or like, what you got going on? She kind of like started questioning me. So I was just like, no. I like, man, I'm a full-time college student and I bartend and I work in the entertainment industry. I stated myself. So she's like, okay, cool. And then they had 2 adorable kids, 2, you know, biracial kids, adorable. And the little son was like, oh, hi, are you my daddy's friend? And I was like, no, I'm your new neighbor. Okay. Everything was cool. After I moved in, I want to say after like 2 weeks, just randomly one night, I hear screaming coming from their apartment, like screaming and yelling. And I kind of like, I'm like, oh shit. What the heck is going on? Like screaming, yelling, rah, 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 rah. And I'm very much from the old school where it's like, yeah, you mind your business. And I was like, man, I hope he's not putting his hands on her, but I want to mind my business. And I just moved in here. But from the yelling, I could mainly hear her voice calling him everything under the sun. So The only reason why it wasn't as bad, because like I said, even though me and this particular neighbor, how the buildings were set up, like you and one person, y'all kind of shared a walkway, and then it was like a space that's another 2 people. So because my apartment, we did both walking on the street level, but I went up. So my apartment was on top of them. So I guess the sound kind of, drowned out a bit. So I was minding my business, and they used to fight a lot. And they used to fight a lot and smoke cigarettes a lot. So in our little walkway, I started noticing like little cigarette butts just like on their side on the floor. So again, my schedule, I used to go to school in the daytime, bartend at night, and then when I came home, I would go home, rest a little bit, eat, do homework, and then probably like 11 midnight go work out at the gym. So I barely used to see them. And from my understanding, the husband was in the military and the wife was like a stay-at-home wife. Like I said, young couple, nothing out of the ordinary. And the complex was like really super quiet, beautiful. I used to brag about my complex. Now, they were fighting really, really bad. And it got to the point where I literally just started to put my Beats by Dre headphones on, because I was just like, look, I was like, I gotta mind my business. Now, if I had heard her yelling like help or whatever, then I might have intervened, but it was just like them screaming at each other. So some weeks that went by, this is probably like 2, almost going to 3 months into me living there. I used to see their kids playing outside all the time. And then all of a sudden, I did not see the kids anymore. And I was like, that's interesting. Again, minding my business, and I'll never forget, it was around Thanksgiving time. I told you, they both used to smoke a lot of cigarettes, so there was like a whole bunch of cigarette butts on their side of the walkway. So my complex had put 2 little like notices on our doors, like my door and their door. It was like, hey, you guys will be fined $50 if you guys don't clean this up, whatever the case may be. And I was like, I'm not paying no fucking $50 because I don't smoke cigarettes. So I was trying to figure out a way. And like I said, the couple was always pleasant to me. And I used to probably see them like once a week. And it was always just like hi and bye. Because with me as a neighbor, I mind my motherfucking business. Feel me? I try to just stay to myself. Everybody who has been my neighbor can tell you like, yeah, he just kind of come and go. I mind my business. I'm not really into getting into people's, what they got going on. Go to work, go to school, go to set, come home. So I was trying to find a way to talk to my neighbors about it. I was hoping to catch the husband so I could address him, man to man. I didn't see the husband for some weeks. So finally, one day when I was leaving to go like grocery shopping, I saw the wife. So I was like, hey, did you see the notice? And then she's like, yeah, that bullshit. She's like, yeah, but I'm gonna clean up the cigarettes in my bag. And I just randomly was like, hey, I ain't seen your kids in a couple of weeks. Like, where the kids at? And she's just like, well, yeah, me and my husband, we're going through a divorce. I was like, what? And she said, yeah, we go through a divorce. He moved out. He took the kids. And I was like, dang. I was like, well, I'm sorry to hear that. And I said, man, like, y'all can't work it out with some counseling? And she's like, nah, I just think it's time, we're just not compatible. We can just be co-parents. I was like, dang, okay, cool. Now, that was like the beginning of the end, because after the husband moved out, it went from just her and him arguing to all of a sudden now, it literally was like, and every time I would drive home, it was like multiple parking spaces available. I used to be able to drive home with no issue. My friends come over, was able to park with no issue. Now, I started noticing that all of a sudden, it was a situation where it just started getting rowdy at her apartment again. Just started getting rowdy, and it was like multiple people in her apartment at the time. So, and I'm not talking multiple like 3 or 4, I'm talking about like 10 to 15 people there. And I was like, Is she having a party every single night or something like that? Because I was like, okay, her husband left, the kids left. How the hell do all these random 10, 15, 20 people are there every night? So again, I'm very much somebody who minds my business. After like the first week, it was like consistently every night going on. Random people just in and out of the apartment, in and out of the apartment. And I was like, maybe she just turning up because she's single. You know, again, I was trying to mind my business. Now, let me tell you when it started to get bad. My friends used to come over, and at the time I was in school, my friends, one of my friends came over, and, you know, she put in the passcode for the gate. I buzzed her in. And like I told you, I had started to just put earphones on because of all the ruckus that was going on to my next door neighbor. So my friend calls me and she was like, yeah, I can't park. And I was like, why can't you park? And then she's like, there's like 4 or 5 police cars outside your apartment. So I was like, 4 or 5 police cars. Now where my bedroom was, my master bedroom was on the other side. So the front of my apartment was where my front door was. If I was in my bedroom, I couldn't see it. So I pretty much didn't know what was going on in the front. So I jump up, look out of my balcony, there's like 4 cop cars. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on?